Hey everyone, Nick here. Now if you go talk about cotton, y'all might hear a Savannah kind of drawl in your heads, and that'd be perfectly acceptable given a North American context. But today, we are looking at GM cotton down under. Now personally, I think cotton is a really cool plant because, to me, it's novel. Well, because you're not gonna find much cotton out here in Canada, eh? Ooh, it's cold. My Australian friend Renée Anderson doesn't have this issue though. Let me show you. This is some footage Renée sent me of her friend's cotton farm in the Central Highlands of Australia, which, for those of us unversed in Australian geography, is right about here. You may not associate Australia with cotton, but this season, over 1,000 farmers planted 452,000 hectares, or 844,667 NFL football fields worth of cotton, with over 95% of that cotton being a particular kind of GMO cotton called Bollgard 3. Stick with me here, we're gonna get sciencey for a second. Bollgard 3 has a few main things going on. Well, 3 main things to be exact, hence the name. Cry1AC, Cry2AB, and VIP3A. These odd little assemblies of numbers and letters are proteins. Bollgard 3 cotton has been engineered with genes that cause the cotton to produce these proteins. Why? These proteins protect the plant from caterpillars that would destroy it. In Renée's area, a particular kind of caterpillar called Helicoverpa causes major issues. Bollgard 3 is important because it has that VIP3A protein, which decreases the chances that Helicoverpa will develop resistance to this group of proteins, which, by the way, are all known as BT traits. BT is shorthand for Bacillus thuringiensis, which is a soil bacteria that happens to be the natural source of these proteins. So yeah, these weird sounding proteins were actually sourced in nature. Nothing sinister about them. But having to apply anything to a crop is ultimately less sustainable than not having to apply anything at all. Think about it. How much fuel would you need to burn to spray 844,667 football fields? Well, according to my math, somewhere between 904,000 and 3.6 million liters burned to apply insecticide to every hectare of cotton in Australia once. Okay, now picture this. Before GE cotton, Australian farmers had to apply BT insecticide between 16 and 24 times a season to help keep their pests at bay. That's anywhere in the range of 14 to 86 million liters of fuel burned every year to keep caterpillars from eating cotton. Now those are some pretty big numbers, kind of hard to wrap your head around, so let's put this in the universally understood OPSUs, which is Olympic Pool Standard Units. We're talking at least 5 Olympic pools, but possibly as much as 35 Olympic pools filled with fuel. That used to be the environmental cost of growing cotton. But with genetically engineered crops,
growing a BT crop has enabled growers to reduce their total insecticide use. And here on this farm, Cam and Tracey were able to grow this crop using only 1 spray.
Beyond the fuel savings from BT integration, this Bollgard 3 cotton is also Roundup Ready, meaning you can use glyphosate herbicide to control weeds. Now, I know everyone hates glyphosate, so without getting into the weeds about it, I'll just say that to a farmer, glyphosate is a really important tool, and contrary to popular belief, and contrary to what you may have heard, it's pretty safe stuff. But let's save that for another video, because I want to talk about one major advantage that Bollgard 3 gives farmers in Renée's area.
One of the benefits with this new technology is a wider planting window, which is really beneficial for growers. It means they can plant early August, and here in the Central Highlands where we have some tricky weather, it means they're getting their crops off before Australia Day, avoiding that monsoonal conditions.
Ever tried mowing your lawn in the rain? Yeah, try harvesting cotton in a monsoon. This was the predicament faced by farmers every year in Renée's area. If you don't get your crop in the ground early enough, it won't be ready to harvest before it starts to rain. So just plant the crop earlier, right? Well, you can't just plant these BT crops whenever you want. It's kind of like antibiotics. You know, doctors aren't just handing those things out like candy anymore, because if you don't hit a bug at the right time with enough antibiotics, they can win that fight and become resistant to the drugs. If you think about BT insecticides like antibiotics, you can see the logic behind this really specific window of planting. The window is about ensuring BT works as an insecticide for as long as possible. Bollgard 3 cotton gives farmers a wider planting window because of that VIP3A protein. VIPs have a different mode of action than cries do, and they kill the bugs differently, meaning the whole Bt insecticide, the antibiotic as it were, is more powerful and works more robustly, giving farmers more flexibility on when they can plant safely. Long story short, crop can go in the ground earlier and come out earlier and is far less at risk of getting monsooned out.
One of the other benefits of being able to plant early is improved water use efficiency. So it's enabled a reduction of up to between 15 and 20% water use on this farm.
Well, that's another huge benefit then. Australia has struggled with droughts before, so anything that could increase water use efficiency would be huge. In so many ways, farming is just all about racing the weather. And you have to figure out how to do what you need to do when nature allows you to do it. And this is where that giant green machine comes into the conversation.
The new round bale cotton pickers are really efficient and clean picking machinery, and they're able to get across the country relatively quick and save a lot of time. So if the weather looks like it's going to come in quite stormy, they're able to get in and out of the field really quickly.
This is a cotton picker. If you've never seen one up close before, they are a sight to see. Especially that front business end. Those metal rotors are just like, ugh, scary looking. And the neat thing about these big new machines is that they save cotton farmers a step in the field. See how it's pooping out a module of cotton? Well, that used to be a separate step. You'd have to truck the cotton over to the edge of the field to the machine that made these modules, then truck them off to the cotton gin. These new machines can make modules as they go, and that means the job is done much faster than in prior times. And when the weather turns bad, you just drive this machine into the shed and you park it, and there's no secondary module machine at the edge of the field that needs to be cleaned up. New technology like Bollgard 3 cotton and this shiny big green machine are helping cotton farmers in Australia be way more efficient. So wrapping up, I just want to restate that GE cotton has had a positive effect on the efficiency and sustainability of cotton farmers in Australia. There is a lot of fake news out there that attempts to downplay the success of GE cotton. But when you talk to the farmers who actually grow the stuff, you hear the real story. And that story is a good one. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in pragmatic conversations about divisive topics like GE cotton in Australia, I make a video every week and you should subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out. And if you want to get in on this conversation about food production, follow us on Facebook because that's where it's happening. Thanks.